Today, I'm going to take a look at Strategy and Tactics issue number 328 for the May to June 2021 timeframe. This is the game edition that has the game Vicksburg, Joint Operations in the American Civil War. And if I have my timing correct, which sometimes I don't, I'm going to be posting this during another one of my Civil War weeks. I try to do some theme weeks from time to time. If you watch my channel, you might notice that I try to group topics together based on battles or wars or even publishers, and try to get some theming going on. So like as you watch my videos over the course of the week, you'll see you'll be able to compare or see some comparisons and judge for yourself on the different type of perspectives in games. Because again, I'm all about perspective. Didn't know really much about this one. I've got a lot of magazine games, magazine war games, but this one kind of popped up on sale, and so I decided to take a look at it. As I tend to like looking at magazine war games, not only for the magazine, but for the war game inside as well. And I did not have, or do not have, a ton of material on Vicksburg, and so thought this will add to my Vicksburg playlist, which I'll put a link down below as well. So there'll be a lot of links here, if you want to look at my playlist. I have war game magazines and some certain battles and the like. So take a look at that. But enough of all that. Let's get inside this and see what we have here. And this one came interesting. This was just a slip bag. A lot of times they come in a Ziploc or a zip, kind of a closed bag. This was just a regular old plastic bag. But I usually store my stuff in, at least my magazine games, in these little clear envelopes is where I end up storing all my stuff at. So this will find its way into that. So interesting, here we have the map, and it looks like we have the counters that are in a separately sealed container. That's a little bit different than what I've seen before. We'll get to the game goodies here in a second, but let's do a quick page through here and see what we have inside this magazine. Now, Strategy and Tactics is published by Decision Games, and they tend to, the Strategy and Tactics and World at War, I think, is what they have left. They used to have a Modern War, but I think that is no longer. They tend to have an article about the game itself. They'll have a game inside. The game editions will have a game inside, and then they'll have an article that's tied to the game to give some background, and they might actually have more than one article on that. So you usually get a little bit of history and context in these magazines as well. So here we got some advertisements in here. These are all Strategy and Tactics and Decision Games type of publications. Some other solitaire games. See if you're seeing that pretty good there. And here are the contents. You have some of the standard sections or features, but then you have the features, I should say, here. Vicksburg. So that's the article that's going to be tied to the game itself. Sorry for the little bit of glare there. Sea Dragon Ascent. In the first half of the 15th century, China deployed the most powerful naval force known to the world. So we have that there. The armies of the Ptolemies from 305 to 30 BC. And Destination Cambrai, or Cambrai. I'm mispronouncing it. I apologize, but that was one of the first largest tank battles in World War I. I believe that's talking about the same topic there, or same issue there. And we have the game edition rules that are in here, and I do like how they hold out the rules, because they'll be sealed to with like a strip of little glue that or sticky stuff that comes off easy, but it'll be tied to a little bit harder stock advertisement or subscription page, and then you have the rules separate. And I take the rules, I take all of these materials, I put them in this clear envelope, and I store them away in kind of not necessarily a file cabinet, but kind of a bin of sort. So here's that Vicksburg article. that's going to be tied to the game. Gives you some context here, and you have a lot of photos from the time period, and also some colored images here. We have some maps, and I always like the maps. If you've been following my channel, you know I have a whole playlist on atlas and maps, and that is kind of a soft spot for me here. So this is interesting. This kind of shows you the whole campaign of Grant coming down, and then coming over, making a landing, coming over to Jackson, defeating Johnson, and then coming back over to Vicksburg. There was a battle at Champion Hill here on my birthday. Sorry, there's a little bit of glare there. It's that time of day. And then doing a siege of Vicksburg here. And here's the siege in a map. And then we get Vicksburg the game here. So this is designed by Eric R. Harvey. Don't know if I've done any, covered any of his games or played any of his games. And then we have, this is the Assault on Stockade Redan, May 1863. So here are the rules, and as you can see here, the rules can be removed. They're on this little bit harder stock, subscription thing, or paper, and actually it's right on the edge where right before the perf here, and you just pull these right out. The rules are 16 pages. They tend to be that amount, so you got R16 here at the bottom to show you how many pages there are. So here are the rules. Dual column, typical decision games format. There's going to be highlighted red for some notes or errata. But you do have color, at least for the counters. You have some charts in here as well. And here's the sequence of play. You have Chaos of War. This is an interesting concept here. So the Chaos of War markers are provided in Union and Confederate colors to show the side that placed the marker. So you have this Chaos of War element here. That should be interesting. I think this is probably going to affect morale, maybe. Movement. Fire combat. Hand-to-hand combat. Then you have some of an advertisement for their. So that's in the rules themselves. You have an advertisement for some of their folios or mini games, and then you have the end of the rules. There you have it. Then this is continuing on with that article. So you had a little bio on Grant before. Now you have a bio on Johnston. And then you have an article by Joseph Miranda on Vicksburg, the Assault on Stockade Redan. So he's talking about the Brian or Eric Harvey's design there. And here's this issue's game. You can see a little bit of a article or ad for that. That's interesting. Advertising the game inside the game. Sea Dragon Ascendant. This is the article on China. I'm definitely going to read this. Always had an interest in this area. And some more China Middle Kingdom. Oh, that's interesting. I have that game. Excellent game. Kind of based on the what is it? The Britannia type series, Britannia type games of factions come in and out according to the historical timeline. So, interesting game. Should cover that sometime. the armies of the Ptolemies here. Ptolemy had pretty much Egypt, or generally the area that we call Egypt. It's kind of interesting. They're doing an article and they're doing an ad on the games that they have that kind of bolster that. You know, some of their ancient games and the like. So that they had that China games that they had on ancients in China before. Now they're doing this for this. It's kind of interesting how they're subliminal advertising. Destination Cambrai. This is 1940, so this isn't the World War I battle I was thinking of. This is World War II. So I was off by a few years here. Interesting article. I'll definitely take a look at that. Portugal, the Forgotten Ally. Desert nuclear terrorism. I just realized you're kind of missing some of the... I kind of shifted over here a little bit. Sorry about that. Anything you missed in these back pages here? Sorry about that. I started fading to the left. Battle of Anzin. It's interesting. I like these little snippets that give you a little, kind of give you an up close on specific battles. And Colts win the pistol battle. There you go. P-82, F-82 twin Mustang. There you have it. So, yeah, that's what you get in Vicksburg. Sorry, I might have shifted a little bit there, but, you know, can't have a perfect view of it because you want to go out and buy this. Enough of the magazine. Let's look at the game components. So you have the rules that are inside the magazine, and then you have the map and counters is what you'll have to play with. You'll have to supply the die. Oh boy, these are coming out really easy. So let's do this here. Take a look at these. So these are kind of thin, but this is somewhat typical for decision games. They are double-sided. There's that Chaos of War counters. No numbers on here, so I have to see how the combat system is because there's no strength points on here. Ooh, they are coming out real easy just by turning it over. There's the back sides. So to me, it looks like I don't know. They're hidden information because they all have the backside has a different have the same image on there. Let's take a look at that a little bit closer. So you don't know what is what other than the color gray or blue. You don't know what forces you're facing, but there's no strength points on here, so it's just the unit designation is the only thing you're really masking there. So that's interesting, something I need to look into there. Let's look at the map. Might have to go up periscope for that. Oh geez, the sticky stuff is stuck on here. Sorry about that, I'm all over the place. The sticky stuff from the I hate that. From the component envelope stuck to the map. I've had that happen with Against the Odds, that the FedEx or the mailing envelope got stuck to the cover. So I got a ripped cover, and I do not like that. Sam, I am. Here we go. Here is the map. A little bit bigger view of it here. Somewhat muted colors. Here's the slaughter pen. Here's the batteries. Here's the stockade. You've got some terrain here. Those look like those are abatis hexide. And so you've got charts over here. So if you're facing this way, and then you've got, I think, the same charts over here facing that way, depending on what sides you're going to play. It looks like there's possibly some hidden information in this. I doubt that this is easily solitaired, but I usually find a way if forced to it. This is your overall phase sequence here. And that's on both sides of it. And you have your terrain effects chart. You have your chaos of war die roll modifiers. So that chaos of war is a big concept in this game. Movement and fire factors chart here. So I guess your movement and fire. So I guess since there's no factors on the counters, you have this kind of a general factor here. Movement, factor, fire strength. So you got Union unit, the 8th Missouri unit, the Confederate unit, and Confederate cannon. So those are the different types of units that are portrayed on here that have different movement and fire strength. Interesting. So this is a little bit intriguing. So I need to dive into this a little more. I didn't know much about this, and now it's got my it's piqued my interest. So there you have it. That is what you have in the game edition of Vicksburg, Joint Operations in the American Civil War, or Vicksburg, I should say. This is the what is this? The Assault on Stockade Redan, May 1863. That is, I guess, the official title of the game in here, but this magazine, the primary article in here is about Vicksburg. So there you have it. I'll store it all back up into here, and I'll put, of course, the counters in baggies, and I'll supply the die when needed. I'm pretty sure it requires a die. Maybe it doesn't. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Love to know your thoughts on this game, or this magazine, or strategy and tactics in general, or wargame magazines in general. It's all fair game. Thanks again. Take care. Thanks for watching.